going on, you guys? It's your boy Alex West Collects here, bringing the most in-depth action figure reviews here on YouTube. And today we're taking like WWE Mattel Ringside Collectibles from the Vault Elite Collection Series 4, featuring Ramon, Bray Wyatt, the Ultimate Warrior, and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. If you are interested in grabbing the set, it is only available at ringsidecollectibles.com. That's the only place you're going to be able to get this set. When you guys shop, use promo code FORLIFE. It will save you 10% off your order. How funny, I feel like we just got From the Vault Series 3 in stock last week. A week later, we have Series 4 here, and I'll be honest, I don't know how excited I am for this set, only because I feel like a lot of these figures have been released already, and now we're getting another version of it, and it's just like, okay, is it overkill? Is it getting to be a little too much? But we're going to take a deep dive into all these figures, compare them with the originals, but we're going to start by taking a look at each figure and individually in their packaging. So starting us off, we're going to take a look at Razor and Bray Wyatt in their packaging. So taking a look at Razor Ramon first. This is a redo of the Defining Moments figure. That figure when it first came out I was so excited. I think that was one of the first Razor Scott Hall figures and just like highly anticipated. But once that Ultimate Edition, the purple, came out, I was like, see you later. That head sculpt was so outdated. He had way too much chest hair deco on that figure, if you ask me. And the purple was off. I think the purple is redone on this one. I don't know if it's accurate or inaccurate at this point. I don't know anymore. I do have the Ultimate Chase figure, which we'll compare, but you will see he does have the most recent head sculpt that we have seen a few times with Scott Hall and Razor Ramon figures. He does come with the Intercontinental Championship belt, as well as some interchangeable hands. You will see the image of Razor on the front of the box, Series 4. On the side here, you'll see Razor Ramon. Same on the other side. And if you guys want to take a look at the read-up in the back, the other figures here in the wave of the cross-sell. Moving on to Bray Wyatt. I believe this was a WrestleMania Build-A-Figure Elite set, I think. I had this figure in my collection, was one of my favorites. But then the one with the green pants came out. And at the time, when I was collecting these figures for modern-day guys, I was only getting one of each character. I think his first Elite is still the most iconic one, and that's what I thought was going to come out with the Hawaiian shirt. Didn't come to fruition, but this is still a solid one from his WrestleMania match. You will see he does have the black tank top with the purplish, maroonish pants, some interchangeable hands. He also does come with the rocking chair, which is pretty cool that they were able to include it. I feel like when that first came out, it was a Build-A-Figure, or I think maybe did it come with like a battle pack, 2-pack, or something like that, but as well. But you will see you get the image of Bray Wyatt here in the front from the vault. Flipping over to the side, Bray Wyatt, same image on that side. And again, the little read-up if you guys would like to pause and take a look. Moving on to the Ultimate Warrior and Cody Rhodes. So let's get right into it. The Warrior, man, I feel like, how many times are we going to do WrestleMania 6? Like, I get it's his most iconic match, and they have still yet to really nail that figure. This time we're getting him without the chest deco. It's like post-match after he's won. That's worn off. The face paint is worn off. But then you also do get a head sculpt with the face paint on there. And it just doesn't make sense to even put that on there with all that deco removed from his chest. He does come with the yellow strap Intercontinental belt, the Winged Eagle title, some interchangeable hands. Head scratcher of a pick for me. I don't know if this was really needed. I guess Warrior figures sell regardless. And again, this is probably his most iconic moment. But you guys want a quick close-up of him in the box. See the image of Warrior on the side here. Also the image from the vault on the bottom. Same on the other side. All have the Ringside Collectibles exclusive on the top as well. If you guys would like to take a look at the read-up on the back, you can do so right now. And now moving on to Cody Rhodes. So, another controversial pick. We just saw this figure released last year. And that's the point of like the Vault figures. Like, I'm cool getting figures that are high in value. I'm cool getting figures that came out a while ago, 10 years ago. But we're redoing a figure from a year ago. Like, really? I don't know. It's sold out. Sold really well, the Defining Moments figure. I guess it does fall in the category of higher priced on the secondary market. But is it that significantly higher? Is it maybe like a $50, $60, $70 figure at this point? I mean, I have one in box. I do have one loose, so we'll definitely compare. He does come upgraded here. He is different, which we will get into, obviously, within the video. He comes with a jacket. You get a new weight belt. You get the new articulation on the feet and the boot mold. So, but looking at him in the packaging, what the hell is going on with his head and his neck? I hope it's just not in place, but it looks awkwardly long, like it's sitting high, and I hope to God that is not the case here. I definitely do want to compare him in box, because that's one of the few figures I still have mock in my collection. But you'll see the image of Cody Rhodes here with a nameplate. Flipping on the side, Cody. Same over here. If you guys would like to take a look at the read-up, you can pause and do so right now. And real quick, I do have this figure in box. I have it actually in a Defender. I wanted to compare it just so you can see how they stack up. I have one loose too, which we will compare, but you'll see how they look packaged here. He came with a cowbell versus the entrance jacket, the old school weight belt versus the new school weight belt. Again, we're going to go full on in depth, but just want to give you a look at the packaging to see how different it is. The Defining Moments one is just not superior because I do like the packaging on the front of the vault, but I have to pick which I like more. For an iconic moment, I feel like this right now with this, this moment for Cody was without a doubt deserving of a Defining Moments figure. But enough chatting. We're gonna go full on depth with all these figures, comparisons, and take a real deep dive into them. All right, so starting us off, we are taking a look at Bray Wyatt out of his packaging. So this is a re-release of the Toys R Us Best of Pay-Per-View Build-A-Figure Corporate Kane set. This figure was great, don't get me wrong, but when he was announced to be in this From the Vault series, I thought for sure it was going to be the Elite 28. To me, that's his most iconic release. I remember that being a hot seller when he came, first kind of debuted, just like the Fiend figure, right? It's kind of crazy. When he came out as the Fiend, we were all like anticipating his first Mattel figure, and it was such a hot seller when it came out. I remember being sold out for a while. Same with that figure. So the fact that they didn't put it in the From the Vault Elite series makes me think it may be released as an Ultimate. That's just a guess I'm taking here. But one thing I'm noticing as far as accessories, I know the actual pay-per-view figure of this one came with a lantern, and his hand actually had like a cut-off glove. I don't know if it was all the way around his thumb, but it was a cool feature. I remember having that figure and thinking that was really cool. He just has the bare hand, so the figure itself comes with the mic open holding hands on the figure. You also do get two of the open hands for him to do some different poses, which is pretty good. You also do get, again, no lantern, but you do get the rocking chair, which actually does rock, which is pretty cool. Again, we have seen this in the Mattel line. And if you are unsure how to assemble it, it comes in five different pieces here. And they just kind of snap together really easy and fits really well. Let's see how Bray actually sits in there. You can kind of position his legs a little. And I'm sure he would sit in there pretty good, and you can get him to rock if you really have the patience to do it. But for if you just kind of want him sitting, pretty cool. You could swap out those other interchangeable hands, kind of have his hands resting on his stomach, just really menacing. But additionally, as you did see it fall off his head, you do get this fedora, kind of like a dark gray or like a navy finish to it with the black stripes going around it. Looks really good, has some texturing to it. Love the head sculpt. I do think this has a great likeness to Bray. He's got the big bushy beard, kind of like wet slick hair. You'll see the different logos on his actual black top. Again, he does have the maroon pants here with the stripes going down the side. Does have the pin legs, I'm noticing. You will see it does have the actual snakeskin boots here. Mine has a little bit of some QC issues here with some paint bleeding through, but all in all, it doesn't look too bad. Looking at his tattoos, you can see the awesome sleeve tattoos here. Do like the way they look. They are double jointed pinless. The arms, I will say, are a little thin. I'm surprised they wanted these kind of thin arms. I would like a little more meat on the bone for him. He is a bit of a thicker guy. You can see more tattoo detail in here. Same on the back, more of his back tattoos coming through. You can see the sculpting of his hair. As far as articulation, let's go through that real quick. The head is kind of hindered a little bit by the hair, but if you guys want to maneuver, you can rotate the head fully around. The arm goes around no problem. Do have the bicep cut. They also do go in and out. Double jointed pinless elbows here. Hands do rotate and hinge. Do have the ab crunch. Mine's not loose, but a little looser than I'd probably like to be. Waist articulation here. Other hand or arm feels pretty good in hand here. Leg issues, doesn't seem to be any issues. Kicks up about that high. Does do the splits. No issues with the other leg. You do have the thigh cut, the double jointed, again, pinned legs here. No shin cut here. It is on the older articulation for the feet here, so you do get a little up and down action, a little bit of a hinge. But pretty much an updated version of that original Bray Wyatt. For some quick Bray comparisons, so on the left, we have the Ultimate Edition Fiend figure you can see with the lantern head and, of course, the championship belt. Very different character, but really love both versions. We also do have the most recent Elite 112. Look how much bigger he is than this from the Vault series. I didn't really notice it. I kind of do like the size more on this guy. And here's what I was talking about. You can see kind of how he has this kind of gloved hand with that thumb that was kind of wrapped with the leather. Again, I don't know why that was left off this figure. Maybe it could have been a cost thing since they included the rocking chair, but some different scale comparisons. You can see he's shorter, medium, and then taller. That's just funny how it's the same character, but the height spans differently among the other three figures. Moving right along, we have our WrestleMania 6 post-match Ultimate Warrior here. So we have seen this figure a few times in Elite form and Ultimate Edition form. I believe it was Legend Series 6 we did see this figure. We saw it in that Lost Legends series where they kind of redid it. I remember the wrist tape was different on those two figures. We saw it as the Amazon Fan Takeover Ultimate Edition figure, and as much as I want to love that Ultimate, something is left to be desired for sure. I don't know what it is with that figure, but I just never really took to it like I thought I would. So you're getting it after he's defeated Hogan. He's holding both belts up. The face paint, the chest paint is all washed off here. That is what it's supposed to represent. So accessory-wise, you'll get a set of the Gorilla Press hands here. He does come with a mic open holding hands on the figure. You get the same head sculpt that came with the Ultimate Edition 15 from WrestleMania 7 for this Warrior. And you also do get this head sculpt here, which I don't know why anyone would ever put this on that figure. The face paint with the gridding head sculpt here for Warrior, and then again, you do get the same head sculpt that we did see with the Ultimate Edition Series 15 here, just kind of being reused. So if you guys want a quick comparison, but it doesn't make sense to have full-on face paint when there's no chest paint, right? That's just me. Added value, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't make sense. I don't know what you're gonna do with it. You do get the Intercontinental Championship belt, as well as the Winged Eagle. We have seen these before. I don't know if this belt is any different. I don't know if the strap is maybe a little darker, which is supposed to be a lot more accurate. Just looking at it, it looks darker to me. I do have the original one from, I believe that actually the first time was released. I don't know if it was the Lost Legends, or it probably was the Ultimate Edition. I'm going to guess. I don't know, dudes. We've seen so many figures over the years. I can't remember, but we do have a yellow strapped one. I do have it on my Ultimate Edition. We will compare Winged Eagle standard to what we've seen before. So moving on to this figure, I feel like the tassels look different. Is there more green on this? I couldn't even tell you what's accurate at this point. We've seen this figure so many times, and they've always changed things. I remember the pattern on the wristbands here were a little different between the two Elite figures. We have the Ultimate. I don't know, dudes. The orange on this, we'll zoom in. The orange on this, trunks, it seems to be I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if it's, I wouldn't say darker, more neon or brighter maybe. But you can see it has a different kind of coloring to it. I can appreciate that. At least they went to do something differently. He does have the Warrior logos on here. Does have the Warrior logos on the knee pads. The tassels are all articulated on the knee pads. Does have the orange tassels on the bottom with the green shoes, the Warrior logos. Looks to be the old articulation too. You can see the Warrior logo on the back of the trunks. Again, the tassels on the arms are also articulated here. I don't know. I'm not excited for this figure. It's been beat to death, and they have yet to really perfect it. It's how many more opportunities of this figure are they gonna give us? I'm sure we'll see another version, because you know what? This is his most iconic moment. There's always new collectors getting the game, so I understand it. But articulation-wise, let's do it real quick. The head will fully rotate. Arm goes fully around, goes in and out, no problem. Double jointed pinless elbows. There is a bicep cut as well. Hands do rotate and hinge as these tassels keep rotating and around. That is really annoying. But you do have the ab crunch as well. Pretty good on mine. Waist swivel, no problems here. The other arm moves, no issues either. This has always been an issue with Warrior Elite figures. I feel like the legs are always stiff. Not too bad here. Okay, a little stiff going back down. This one is a lot looser. How about the splits? Man, you can see it. This leg will not bend out. That's always been the case. I wouldn't blame it on the new factory. It's just something about these Warrior figures. There's a thigh cut. He does have the double jointed pin legs. There is a boot cut. The feet do go up and down. Again, the old articulation on this figure. If you guys wanted to swap the other head, and just for the hell of it, oh man. And that is not going down anymore. It does have a little bit of a giraffe neck. What is the deal with that? Does it need any more force? Man, you can see I'm really pushing there. His head sits pretty high. It's a good thing I'm never going to ever put it like this. That just looks so odd, especially with these tassels kind of spun out. But one thing I'm going to point out, a good selling point to buy this Warrior, the other Ultimate, did not have the pinless elbow. So hell, I'm going to swap them probably on my Ultimate at some point. For your Ultimate Warrior comparisons, on the left here, we have the Ultimate Edition Series 15 from WrestleMania 7. On the outside, we have the darker skin tone. I hate this when it drives me nuts when they flip-flop between the skin tones. They can't seem to pick what they want. The darker skin tone for the most recent Ultimate Edition Ultimate Warrior. They came with the Papa Shango and the Ultimate Grudges 2-pack. Here we have the Amazon Fan Takeover Ultimate WrestleMania 6 Warrior versus this new Elite here from the Vault. I guess this is where we're going to see the most comparisons. You'll see the chest paint that's on that's supposed to be worn down. Look how much darker the orange is on the Ultimate. I don't know which is accurate. For some reason, I remember the darker colors being accurate, but of course, I'm probably wrong. Someone will correct me in the comments. You'll see the deco on the boots, darker green boots versus the lighter shade here. The wristbands, somewhat similar, a little bit different on the bands, but you'll see the tassels have different colors, and you'll even see this Ultimate Edition Warrior had the pinned double-jointed joints here. I'm swapping the arms out. I think I'm going to be keeping him in his, obviously, face paint gear. And I think that'll plus it up. So that's a perk to buy this figure, is that you'll get the skin tone and the arms that are double jointed to match, and really, you know, plus up this Warrior that kind of was a little subpar. One other thing I want to point out. So this is the Intercontinental Championship belt that came with the new Vault figure. This is the one that came with the Fan Takeover Ultimate here. You'll see the strap on the new one is definitely a different shade of yellow. It looks a little brighter. This one's a little duller here that came with this Warrior, so I just wanted to point that out here. Our next figure we're taking a look at is Razor Ramon. Again, this is a re-release of the Defining Moments figure. We have seen the purple attire released as an Ultimate as well, so this is the third go-around of this kind of purple gear for Razor Ramon here. So let's take a look at the interchangeable hands included. You get the open hands for him to do his Razor Strut or Gangster Walk, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely love that. You do get 2 sets of the thumb hands with the other one on the figure, and a set of the actual mic open holding hands. Razor also does come with the Intercontinental Championship belt, which we have seen many times before from the Mattel line, with a nice vac finish, the light baby blue here on the globe. He also does have the, of course, the gold chains. He does have the purple vest as well. You can see he does have 2 different size elbow pads. I don't think that was accurate on the Defining Moments. He always wore one longer, one black with no deco on it. This one should have the razors on there, and it does. And you can see the black elbow pad here. Take a look at this Razor Ramon vest. Really nice and clean. Always love the way this looked. With the razor with the kind of like gold and the silver here. You can see the little buckle here painted in the back. Of course, we did just get the Razor Ramon from the Monday Night Wars series, which had the cloth vest, which actually was a decent job too. Let's take a look at his deco here as far as the razor on the trunks. But let's go ahead and we can actually remove the vest off just to give you a quick better look at this figure. With all the chest hair. Again, the original Defining Moments figure, I feel like the chest hair was just all over the place. It was very thick, and, you know, for its time, it's like, whoa, he comes with chest hair. But to see how they've kind of, applied the deco a little better on some of these newer figures, just a lot nicer. You can pop the head off, take the necklace off. We'll pop the Scott Hall, and that head comes on and off pretty easy, which is... I don't know if I like it or dislike it, but I feel like that was an issue with the green one from the Raw set. The head popped up very easily. You'll see a little, I don't know if this is QC or what, but you'll see the beard comes up pretty high over his cheeks here. I don't really like the way that looks. Could just be mine how it's printed, but I do like this head sculpt, one of my favorites. And I do have extras, if it really becomes an issue. Again, the chest hair here, you can see the nice kind of finish to it. Got the Razor decal here on the front. On the back, different razor blades to match the elbow pad. I will say the elbow pad looks to be a different shade of purple than the trunks, maybe a little darker. You'll see the details here, or the decals here on the knee pads with the razors. Also the white lace boots with the purple. No white soles, which is kind of confusing. I feel like they usually do have white soles for all the Razor figures, even the Scott Hall figures. That's a little disappointing here, but let's take a look at articulation. Head will fully rotate. Again, it comes off pretty easy here. So the arms do go around, bicep cut as well. Also, the arms do go in and out. You do have the double jointed pinless elbows. Hands will rotate and hinge. My ab crunch is kind of tight, which is nice. I prefer it this way. Look at the head, just popped right off, man. That's annoying. Waist articulation. Let's see how those legs are. As far as his kicks, no problem here. This is pretty smooth. The other side is also good. Does the splits? It's getting stuck a little bit here, but not the worst I've seen. There's a thigh cut, the double jointed legs here. Let's see if he's pinned. He's on pinned legs here. They are not pinless. You do get the boot articulation, and this is the old boot that do go up and down. Also does rock from side to side. The other arm also articulates, no issues there. So here's a revamped version of the Defining Bones figure. Starting off our Razor Ramon comparisons, I didn't realize how many Razor Ramon figures I have in my collection. It's pretty crazy. I have most of them, I think, minus the Legend 7 in the blue. I had that, and I just was not a big fan of that figure. I have so many Scott Hall figures. Like I said, man, I don't mean this in the wrong way. I love him. He's one of my favorites, Scott Hall. But I'm a little Scott Hall'd out. I feel like we've gone quite a bit over this year, and I just feel like, do we need any more? So let's get into the comparison instead of me complaining here. So we got the green Razor Ramon from the Raw 3-pack here. You can see how this one came out. Looked pretty nice. You will see that this one did have the actual detailing on the chain. It had a little bit of a better finish to it than this version. Kind of like a shinier, like, I don't know how to describe it, but you can see the difference on the necklace. Versus this one that comes with the From the Vault figure. We also do have the most recent Monday Night Wars Elite. You can see how this one came with the cloth vest. This one had Bad Guy. I like both. Listen, I like the little buckles on the sculpted version. I've always been a fan of those. Anything rubber that doesn't hinder articulation, I'm a fan of, but they did a good job with that cloth vest. Also do have the WrestleMania 10. I even forgot I had this figure in my collection, man. There's just so many. But you can see how this one stacks up versus some of those. Not my favorite head sculpt on this figure, but just some different looks. Obviously some of the most Toyota gears for sure for Razor Ramon. Another Razor Ramon comparison for you guys. So we have the Ultimate Edition figure here. We have the standard version with the black and yellow here. We also do have the Chase version in the purple. So again, here's a quick look at all of them, but I think the main comparison we're going to want to see is the purple gear with the Chase. You will see the purple is a different shade. You can even see how lighter it is versus the Ultimate Edition here. It's a lot darker. The From the Vault figure is definitely a lot lighter of a purple. And one thing to point out, all those Elites we just looked at, these two Ultimates, they all have the white soles on the bottom. I don't like how these boots do not have that. I feel like that is a major downgrade. I think that adds something to the figure here. Again, you can see the difference in the shade of the elbow pads, the purple, even the trunks. I mean, I don't want to take the belts off, but you can see on the back here how much lighter it is. The vest is also different. You'll see the Razor Ramon logo on the back is a lot bigger from the Vault figure. This one also, again, has the larger black elbow pad, but that's not a big deal. I don't think that's a major selling point here. Again, the detailing on the necklace, it just has a nicer finish with the Ultimate versus this From the Vault figure. You can see the difference with the belt. The globe is just a darker color, but it's up to you guys which one you like better. If you have the Ultimate, in my opinion, I don't think this Elite is needed. Our last figure we're taking out from this set is Cody Rhodes from his Hell in a Cell match versus Seth Rollins. So we did see this as a Defining Moments figure just last year, which was also a Ringside Collectibles exclusive. It's kind of weird. Listen, I'm not complaining. I love that Ringside gets these, and I don't have to hunt them down. I just pay, and they come right to my doorstep. But I'm just surprised that these figures, just like the CM Punk figures that have come out, like, I'm surprised those don't go to retail. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure Mattel knows better than I do. Just a thought, food for thought there. But interchangeable hands, you will get your standard Cody hands. You got the open hands for him to do his woe pose. You do get a set of the fisted hands here. Again, they all do have the hand tape on one side and not on the other with the white pegs. So you get the same jacket that came with the Mattel Creations Ultimate Edition Cody Rhodes here. One thing to note, that head... This head looked really long, like an elongated neck. Popped in, no problem. It was just a little out. I don't know why that was the case. But if you're going to keep that mock, that's definitely frustrating. I have seen a few people get the same look, so I hope that's not a widespread thing. I hope people who want to keep it in box, because I did actually order another one to keep in box, and if that head looks like it did, like a bobblehead or just like a long giraffe neck, like, it doesn't make sense. But take a look at the coat. Again, we have seen this before with the Mattel Creation. It is the same exact coat. I don't know about the shade of it. We will compare. I do have the Ultimate here, but you can see the nice detailing. We'll zoom in for you guys. You got the American Nightmare logo here. You got the epaulets here and the gold on the shoulders. You can see there is a Velcro on the front, so if you guys wanted to have him Velcroed here to do his entrance. I will say, I don't know if the arms, I don't know if they've shortened the length, because that jacket looked very baggy on the Ultimate, and this figure is smaller. I feel like it's a little more tailored to him, so that is nice. They did kind of trim it down. In my opinion, that's the way it looks. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I can see how it maybe is a little longer on this hand. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but it just right now it looks to be fitting him a little better. And you can peel it back where he revealed that bruise here. And listen, I know why they released this. It's a hard figure to get. It did go pretty quick. Ringside kept restocking it. It just kept selling out. And obviously Cody, anything Cody's touches lately just turns to gold. So I can see why they re-released it. It's so soon, man. I mean, I'm not for gatekeeping figures at all. But it has to make sense, right? I don't know. It's just part of the collecting game. You'll see the weight belt here, and I did see another review where this was the same issue. The belt is on upside down. I don't know why. I don't know why they can't figure this out, because when they redid the weight belt, the first time we saw this mold was with the Ultimate Edition 21 Cody, and it didn't fit him. It was very tight, and it looked like the sculpting, I had pointed out in my review that the belt buckle was on this side, and it was on the opposite side. So let's see how this actually fits once we get it off. You will see the Nightmare logo here. Does it look to be a little off-center? Doesn't look to be like where it should be, but let's see how the placement is once you get it on. So the original belt, I think, was ported on something like this, or whatever, just some awkward way. And it's like, well, shouldn't this cover or the belt buckle be over it? This is the weight belt has been redesigned. We're gonna see that done with the Ultimate Edition Hollywood Hogan figure that is coming out to Target. But this belt doesn't fit the greatest, to be honest. A little bit of a struggle here, and that's what makes me think that the belt probably was meant to close this way. Let's see if that's any easier. No, it's really not. That's very frustrating. I feel like they redid this with the Top Picks figure, and it had no issues. I don't know what the deal is here, but if you go that way, it's upside down. I'm sure I can probably get this to sit at some point, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to have the patience sit here on camera and do it, because you're pushing into his chest here. It's not going to lock in, so hopefully it doesn't sit that sloppily. But we'll remove the weight belt. Another disappointing weight belt. Hopefully the new one brings more to be desired here. But this is the major selling point. He's got the bruised pec here. You'll see the Dream tattoo. I wonder if this is any different as far as the paint applications here. You can see the bruise going down his arm here. There's also the white wrist tape. I feel like that's inaccurate. I know we did have this with the original one. I wish they would have fixed it, where he just kind of has the hand tape. He doesn't have any actual wrist tape. You can see the other side here. I will say my shoulder looks to be a different color from the rest of the arm. Do you guys see that? And Vietnam strikes again. You can see this is a darker shoulder than the actual arm, man. That is freaking disappointing. Luckily enough, I have plenty of Cody's. I wonder if this is just a lighter tone arm, because it looks to be a little darker here. At least it wasn't on this arm, right? Man, that's very frustrating. But let's take a look at the actual tights here. They look to be pretty clean. I always worry about Cody's tights. I feel like I never always get the cleanest pair. There's always like a smudge or somewhere. But you can see the stars going down here. Nice eagle on the front, flipping on the other side. More of the detailing here. Back looks to be pretty clean, so that is, I guess, a positive here. You can see the detail on his knees over here. New boots for Cody. You will see the American Nightmare logo. A little bit of that black stripe here, adding something. He does have that massive foot. I don't know. Just looks too big, man. I feel like that may be something that needs to be reworked. Does it look like the decals on these boots are not level on each side? Like one is a little lower than the other? Maybe I'm just nitpicking here. But let's take a look at the actual head sculpt while we're at it here. You can see the likeness to Cody and how the side American Nightmare neck tattoo looks. All in all, again, looks decent. Let's see how he articulates, because the Royal Rumble Elite Cody was one of my most anticipated, and that figure can't move worth anything. So let's see if there's any articulation issues. The head will fully rotate. The arms do go around, even though they are two different skin tones here. The arms do go in and out. There's the bicep cut. You get the double jointed pinless elbows. The hands do rotate and hinge. There is an ab crunch. You do get waist articulation here. The other arm, a little stiff, but not awful. Here's the true test, the legs. Yep, a little stiff on this side. Hopefully that loosened it up. See, and then I feel like the paint rubs here when you try to do that stuff and like ruins the pants a little. But a little stiff. That maybe needs to be worked a little bit, but definitely not as stiff as they were. How does it kick? He kicks out pretty good. That is nice. Let's see how the other leg is. A little stiffer, of course. You do get the thigh cut here. The double jointed pin legs, a little stiff, very stiff at the top, so only the bottom portion is bending. How is it on the other leg here? Also very stiff, man. Something about this leg is just a lot stiffer than the other. You do get the boot cut here. You get the new see, why does he come with the new articulated boots and the other figures don't? I mean, that's a little disappointing. But you can see how they rock side to side, but they are massive. So let me know all your thoughts below. I think the Defining Moments may be the better figure, to be honest. Let's get into our Cody Rhodes comparison. So here we have two of the Ultimate Edition figures. We have the Mattel Creations Ultimate here on the left, and we also do have the Ultimate Edition Series 21. You can see the molded coat versus the actual cloth coat. You guys want to compare the jackets on these two? They're looking very similar to me. There's nothing popping out that I'm really noticing. I don't know. I still feel like size-wise, maybe they trimmed it down a bit, but you can see the arms, the epaulets, maybe. No, I think they're about the same color. You can see the logo on the back. Maybe this looks a little bigger. I could see where maybe it was resized, but that's the only thing I'm really noticing as far as the entrance codes. I do like that they added the entrance code here. I still like the molded code better, though. A few more Cody Rhodes comparisons. So on the left, we have the Elite 101 figure, the first American Nightmare Elite released by Mattel. We have the most recent Royal Rumble Elite. Again, very disappointed with the articulation on this figure, but this was the first to have the new articulated boots and the new mold. You can see how much bigger, again, the feet are versus the older figure. Just massive in size, but they actually do match up with what we had with the Royal Rumble figure. So here's another thing I'm pointing out. The belt itself. So this belt is probably supposed to fold in like this and snap in. That's probably the way to do it here. You can see that's how it is on this belt here. Unfortunately, the decal or the logo is printed on the inside. So the only way to get this belt to close is to go this way. The problem is when you try to close it, it kind of gets stuck on his torso where there's nowhere to push it in because it's trying to get in there. So I don't know if maybe heating it would be the option. And that's supposed to be how it looks on here, but I don't know if that's going to work for this figure, and that's really disappointing. But this is the same weight belt, so if you guys wanted to see how that one looks on this new Cody Rhodes figure, I will pop it off here for you guys and throw it on there from the Royal Rumble figure. It's disappointing that you may even have to do that, but again, you can see how the belt loop is. The actual, it's on this inside here, and that's how it was printed here. So you'll be able to close it a lot easier than you would be on that one because you're trying to actually port it through the hole on the front. We'll port in. That is how it's supposed to look, and unfortunately they printed on here backwards. And the last comparison, I'm sure this is the one you guys want to see. So we have the original Defining Moments Elite Cody Rhodes here on the right, and the left is the From the Vault figure. Taking a look real quick, let's take a look at the bruise because that's obviously the selling point here. You can see looks like to be a little bit of a flatter finish here versus the original. You can even see how it looks on the arm. It looks a little more realistic, so I will give points to the From the Vault figure. Look at how that actually looks like a bruise versus this one. I mean, not that the original one was bad, but I do like the way this paint applications look on this one. Just to me, it looks a little more realistic. Tattoo even looks a little cleaner on the new one. This looks to be a little bit darker, and it's just kind of crazy how just a year ago, how much more innovation they can go. Obviously, the weight belt, I don't like any of these weight belts, to be honest. I feel like the molds just suck for both. But this is, of course, using the Royal Rumble belt. I was not able to get the other belt on. You can see the Eagles look to be similar. I don't know if the one's a different size. Probably not, man. It's just my eyes. You'll see the pin joints versus the pinless here. But for the most part, the details see the same. You can see the little extra stripe added on the boot. I do like that. The backs look to be the same. And if you guys want a quick look at the other one. One thing, obviously, with the original one, it just articulates better. It just feels better in the hand from the original factory. If you guys also, while we're at it, let's take a look at the tattoos on his neck. Placement is about the same, maybe slightly different, but both are great figures. I just feel like if I had to pick one, I think I'd still go with the original release. If you guys have enjoyed this video review, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow and allows me to create more great content for you guys. I want to know all your thoughts and feedback below on these 4 figures here. Did you have them on pre-order? Are you looking to grab them? Will you be passing after watching this review? And while you're, please turn on those notification bells. Stay tuned to the newest action figure reviews here on my channel. Long video, lots to unpack here while we wrap it up. My final thoughts on these figures. Let's start off with the Warrior. This figure's been done so many times, it's hard to get excited for another version. There's nothing here that stands out and says, oh, I need this for my collection. If I had to pick one from WrestleMania 6. I go with the Ultimate, even though, again, that's still not my favorite figure. I feel like the use of the reuse of the head sculpt from the Ultimate Edition 15 WrestleMania 7 Warrior was clever to use here. I don't like that they gave us that other interchangeable head. It just has no purpose here, especially with the chest deco not on there. I will also say that I did not like the fitment of that head. It's sat high, even though I'm not going to use it anyway. But you know what? If you are a big Warrior fan and missed out on that figure, or just wanted a post-match celebration version from an iconic match that changed wrestling history, here's a good representation for it here, but not one I think you need for your collection. Razor, I like the figure to an extent. There's some things missing from the set, and I think that's a theme with a lot of these figures from this set. The soul's missing the bottom, I think, is a big deal. I don't really like the way that looks. The different shades of purple. I will say, even looking at it now, the vest from the boots and the armband, I don't know if that's how his gear was, but I just, for some reason in my mind, expect all that purple to match, and it doesn't. Again, the white soul is missing. The head kind of pops off a little easy on this figure. It is better than the Defining Moments figure. I no longer have that figure in my collection. That was single-jointed elbows, no interchangeable hands, old head sculpt. So it's a better version of an Elite in the purple, but if you have that Ultimate, there's no need to buy this one either. Bray, not my favorite Bray. I think I actually do like the Elite 112 better, but here's a chance to get the rocking chair. I understand why they couldn't include the lantern. It would have been nice if they could have squeezed it in. I didn't appreciate that the gloved hand was not on there. That is something that I think added to this figure, really made it stick out. Just small details like that, but head sculpt is great on this figure. It's great to see Bray Wyatt back on the line. No major complaints. I don't know if this is my favorite one. Like I said, I'm waiting for that original release to come out, maybe even as an Ultimate. That would be pretty sweet if they can pull it off. Cody, let's be honest, this was probably the figure that everyone most anticipated from this set. I don't want to call this set lackluster, but definitely one of the less exciting from the Vault sets that we've gotten from Ringside, especially all the hype of some really anticipated or older figures in other waves. But this set of 4, I mean, Cody, without a doubt, was going to be, I think, the one that everyone wanted, and it's a letdown in my mind. I get you get the entrance coat, which is nice, fits him a little better than it did on like the prior Ultimate Edition. Gripes, obviously mine had a little bit of a QC issue where the arm is different skin tone from the shoulder, but that aside, the big frustration to me is, one, the articulation. It could be worse. If you had that Royal Rumble figure, you know what I'm talking about from the new factory. The weight belt does not fit on there. If you're a mock collector, it's going to be annoying because it seems like that head is going to be elongated. The good thing is, if you guys are opening it, the head will fit fine on the body. You do get the updated boots. I'm still on the fence. I mean, somebody put a photo up showing Cody's boots. Like, they do look really oversized. Maybe that's the look they were going for, but I don't know. Something on that figure is just not translating to me. I will say I do like the original Defining Moments figure. I think it looks better mock and packaging. I think that figure just articulates a little better. I feel like it just looks better. If there's any plus this one has, I do like the bruising. I feel like the detailing they put on there looks a little better, but that's my thoughts. I feel like this set was a little bit of a disappointment in my mind. I feel like the prior other from the Vault sets have been just a little better. But anyways, if you are interested in grabbing any of these figures, they are now available and shipping from Ringside Collectibles. Get them in time for the holiday season when you shop. Use promo code 4LIFE. Before you go, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at AlexWestCollects. Thank you again for tuning in. I'll catch you all in the next video review.